What is up, you sports fanatics? Welcome to the Angry Hacks podcast on a beautiful Tuesday evening with a lot to discuss. In sports. Michael Hall and Ryan Stanley are with me, as always. Mike, how you feeling today on a Tuesday?
Pissed.
I would think you would be. After last night. Stan the man, how's it going, brother?
It's going all right, buddy. Going all right. Should be pissed. It's just like a prolonged piss. It's not like I'm pissed just because of this week. It's just a prolonged piss of these New York Giants.
I feel you, man. Before we rant and rave, just devastating news today in the sports world, in the Major League Baseball world. Former Major League pitcher Roy Halladay was killed in a plane crash. This a couple hours ago, I get the alert on my phone, and they said that a plane that was registered to him because he's been an avid pilot the last couple of years had gone down in the Gulf of Mexico, and they don't know, but they said that one individual had died in the plane crash. They didn't say anything in the beginning, so we're kind of waiting around. And then a little bit later, I get the alert again that it was in fact Roy Halladay who was killed. Just really tough news, guys. Really tough news. It was a guy that the three of us have grown up watching compete against both of our teams, since he did pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays, so he went against your Yankees a lot, Mike, in those 12 years, as well as 4 or 5 years against us, Rye, while he pitched for the Phillies. And to be honest with you, man, he's probably one of the best pitchers I've ever watched. He's got to be. He's one of the best pitchers I've ever watched. Mike, what can you say about this fellow?
Yeah. I mean, I remember when several years ago when Corey Lytle passed away in the plane crash in the city. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And not to, it's a human life.
Of course.
But if it doesn't matter who it is, you know what I mean? It was Corey Lytle, who was just a marginal major leaguer. And that was devastating. It was so sad. But when it's a guy that you've watched for so long, it just, Roy Halladay is kind of like a generational guy. I mean, he was dominant for a long stretch at the peak of our baseball watching lives, I feel like. His first ever playoff game, he throws a no-hitter, for Christ's sake. It's just horrible. It's just horrible. I mean, one of the best right-handed pitchers I think we've ever seen. He's up there with likes of Pedro and Clemens and others. I mean, Halladay's up there.
Yes.
And, it's weird. He retires a few years ago, and he just kind of, really just cast himself off into the sunset. You almost forget about Roy Halladay until you hear he dies in a plane crash. It's just horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, Ryan, you want to mention anything?
Well, just a few things. Halladay, I ran this Dynasty Fantasy League with Timmy for years, and Halladay, he was on my team forever. This is a guy I rooted for even when he was unless he was facing the Mets, and it's one of our guys. This is one of our guys. This guy's great, and watching him pitch was a joy. And then, like Mike said, that first game, his first ever playoff game, he throws a no-hitter game. I know that we know, and for all those listeners out there, that's only been done twice in the history of baseball in the postseason. One was a perfect game, as you know, Don Larson, and then this one. I read some tweets today that were amazing about Halladay, saying your favorite player's favorite player. That everyone in baseball's favorite player at that time was Roy Halladay. Every pitcher looked up to him. This year, if in the postseason, the World Series, Charlie Morton, A few years ago, Charlie Morton was coming back from injury himself as a pitcher because he was a kind of a marginal pitcher himself, and just watched Roy Halladay footage and mimicked his whole pitching motion and copied everything that Halladay did. And if you've noticed, since he's done that, Charlie Morton's career has changed, and he has been a solid pitcher in baseball. He's not Roy Halladay, but who is? Nobody. But everything he does, if you watch him, it's like the spitting image of Halladay. Watch it side by side, or just watch them back to back, and you'll see it. It's kind of. But apparently, everybody in baseball loved this guy. You read about it. I liked him. I thought he was a good dude. Just a great pitcher, and I actually thought he was an underrated guy. Like Mike said, you do kind of forget about him. You kind of do, because he just left. You know, it was this greatest pitcher in the league for years, and all of a sudden he was out of the league. It's a sad day. You know, when the sports world or anybody loses something like this, it's just tough.
Yeah. I mean, you guys hit it on the head. Real tough, real tough. He was definitely one of the best pitchers we've ever witnessed. And yeah, he did. He did kind of ride off in the sunset, kind of forgot about him. I think he retired when he was like 36 or something like that, which I don't feel is that old. He wasn't a guy who was always riddled with injuries. I mean, he got a few injuries here and there. So I guess he was just one to say when his time was up, his time was up. When he knew he just didn't have it anymore, he didn't have it anymore. But I'm telling you, man, that guy, he was fun to watch. He really was. And he was very kind of laissez-faire, kind of relaxed type of pitcher. He was just so awesome, man. He wasn't a guy that would get too fired up. I mean, he would get fired up here and there, but he was just so good. And I think he knew it, but he didn't really flaunt it like others do on the mound, because you are the center of attention when you're a pitcher, right? It's a tough day. And it was tough to hear about that a couple hours ago. It's just tough. So, you know, rest in peace, Roy Halladay, and just thoughts and prayers, obviously, out to your family and friends. So we'll leave it at that. But guys, couple of things this weekend. I mean, I'm starting to giggle already because I know what I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be the Giants after that just absolutely pitiful performance against the Rams. You know what, Rye? I'm going into this game, and I'm thinking, you know what? After the bye, I know this team is just – they're out of it. I know they're out of it already. But play a little for pride. Play a little for spoiler. And just show us that you guys kind of want to be there. And after the bye, they came out and did the total opposite. 51-17. 51 points to the Rams. Now, the Rams have a pretty decent offense this year. Should they be scoring 51 points on your defense, who was ranked top 10 last year? No. 51 points. That's a lot of points. That's college. The team quit. The team freaking quit. I mean, you can't tell me they didn't. They quit on this. They quit on this coach, Rye. I know I'm beating a dead horse because I said it last podcast. They've quit on him, and you've seen it in this game. Dude, it got so bad I couldn't watch anymore. I don't know if you watched the game. I couldn't watch anymore. I was watching other games. Just laying on my couch.
Yeah. I can't blame you for that at all. This McAdoo, Crapadoo, whatever you want to say, this guy has lost this locker room. We talked about it last week with the Jenkins and, you know, the DRC before that. And, you know, the DRC thing, okay, that could be DRC. Then it happens to Jenkins, and it's like, okay, well, then they come out after a bye. And it just looks like there was lack of preparation. Now, if you're telling me that maybe we're losing, this is what I got. I got the feeling that we're tanking, that we're tanking on purpose for a high lottery lottery. I'm talking about like the NBA, but a high draft pick. Like, and that's what it just felt like. That like 51 points to the Rams feels like a tank job. Lack of preparation after a bye week. You shouldn't be losing. Like, if you lose the game, that's one thing. If you bust your ass and lose, that's another. But then losing by 51 to whatever, that's another story. Now, points, and your coach says you played hard? Are you kidding me, McAdoo? Are you kidding me? 51 points and you played hard? What did you hear about that, Rye?
Yo, yeah. Oh, I heard about it. I heard about it, dude. I heard about it. The killer were these big plays too in the game. When I kept going back to the game after I was getting just so pissed off, I had to leave the game. I would come back to see what the hell was going on. And to see these big plays, the big 62-yarder to Sammy Watkins, and then the 3rd and 33. Dude.
3rd and 33. That's almost 100 feet.
Listen to this stat. We are the first team in this decade to give up a 3rd and 30 plus.
It's a third of the field.
Guys, what are we doing?
No, you're not playing hard if you gave up a 3rd and 33.
Did you see the effort by Eli Apple on that play? Anybody?
No.
Anybody? It was like he's playing patty cake. Guys, that is an utter embarrassment. This team is an utter embarrassment. That's all I can say. It's an embarrassment. Am I wrong in saying this team is an embarrassment?
No. No, they are embarrassed.
You're embarrassed.
I'm super embarrassed, dude. I'm really embarrassed. I have to hear it from a freaking 12-year-old kid who's an Eagles fan at my school. He says it every week. And at this point, I try to shy it off because he's a kid. And what does that really mean? But he's pissing me off.
I'll throttle him.
Listen, I hear
stuff him into a locker.
I hear it from the Eagle fans all the time, you know, being in Pennsylvania. It's not fun. I just don't say a word. I never do. Because I know I don't even want to talk about it. It is embarrassing. Mickey Mouse operation out there, and that's an insult to Mickey Mouse.
It is.
And his clubhouse.
I mean, it's unbelievable how bad this is.
Right.
I mean
I know. We're kind of at a loss for words, aren't we?
Well, I said, yeah, we are. But I said last week or 2 weeks ago that, McAdoo's not fired coming into the, ahead of the bye week. So his job's probably secure. And you're like, well, what does that do anyway? But you know what? I think you need to let him go. I think you need to fire. After the 51-point loss, I can't believe he fought to Tuesday.
You know what? A performance like that is a fireable offense on the spot. It really is.
Well,
it could be.
It's not like we're coming off a 4-game winning streak. You know what I mean? And then this happens.
Right.
This is on top. This is the cherry awful season.
It's very clear to me, and you can argue if you want, but it's very clear to me that this team doesn't want him around. When you put out a performance like that, it's almost like they're really, like you said, they're tanking. They tanked that game big time. And it just seems clear to me they don't want him around. I mean, this guy should have been gone before we even started this pod tonight. He should be gone already. We should be talking about him gone, but he's not. And here's the problem. And this has happened for a very long time with this organization. The Maras do not give up on coaches very easily. They don't. They keep them around a long time, and they give them the benefit of the doubt. So that's what's kind of really frustrating me when I'm thinking about this, because I keep hearing this, and I forgot that was the case. Because, right, if you remember the year Fossil got fired?
Yeah.
He could have gotten fired week 12, week 11, and they kept him around for the rest of the season, correct?
Yeah, but didn't they announce it ahead of time though?
That's
Fox.
right. Well, he knew like 3 or 4 weeks before the end of the season.
Right.
And then this was like probably, I think about 4 weeks before the season ended, he knew. And then a couple weeks after that, right before the season, he knew, like you said. And then he coached like 2 more games, knowing. So it seems like they hold on as long as possible, keeping a coach around, and then they get rid of them. So it doesn't seem like, to me, it doesn't seem like McAdoo is going to get fired during the season. And after, I don't know. I'm going to still say I don't know. If he's back, I'm not going to be shocked because this is what the organization does. And for some reason, they do that because, I was looking into it after I heard on a radio show about that. And I said, you know what? That is what they do. And it really is. So that kind of scares me. But in my heart, I do feel like he's gone, at least after the season.
I hope so, man, because that shit, hearing that he might come back and hearing what you just said, yes, it does ring a bell. It's true. That's scarier shit than The Exorcist, man, that I would have to see this guy on the sidelines again freaking next year.
We have to really, we got to look at Jerry Reese too. And the reason being is it's top to bottom. I think he brought this guy in to be the offensive coordinator and obviously succeed Tom Coughlin. That was the plan ahead of time. And now looking at this absolute disaster that McAdoo brought to this team, I think Reese, as Jay likes to put it, needs to take a hit. Big thing that happened with Jerry Reese was he really never addressed the offensive line trouble, and it's indicative in how this team had played this season. It was a big problem right from the start. They played a little better, but now they're just decimated, and that's his fault. That is his fault. He could have went out and got a guy like Andrew Whitworth. He could have went out and got a guy. I'm trying to think of, give me another offensive lineman that was out there. I don't even remember. There was like 2 or 3. There weren't many, but there was
even in the draft, right?
Right. I think at their position, there really wasn't anything in the first round where they were slotted unless they made a trade up.
Right. But I don't think they didn't draft an offensive lineman the whole draft.
No, they did. Well, I think it was a guard, Biz Nawadi.
Oh, right. Late.
I don't think I think he's like on the practice squad, or he's not even on the team. I don't even know. But you're right. The draft does that too, and that's on him. A couple of podcasts ago, guys, I think you remember we went through Jerry Reese's drafts since he's been here. And we kind of came to the conclusion they weren't very good. They weren't that good recently. We started out with a couple of good picks, really solid picks, but the last couple have been really subpar. So all in all, I think he needs to take a hit too. I really do think they need to clean both of them out of here, Reese and McAdoo, and just start anew. It's got to happen. And like we've talked, Mike, in football, you can turn around a shitty season like they're having with a successful season next year. You can do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like baseball when you're rebuilding a whole team, when you're trading away guys.
Right. When you have a farm system set up like that, it could take a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
NFL and the NBA, I mean, you can have quick turnarounds, and I feel like football is even more so.
Right. So once this season is done, Rye, I'm going to sit back, take a deep breath, not think about football for a while, and then I'm back on board once things start heating up towards the draft.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But you know what? We really don't need to talk much more about this game. We're going to continue to talk about this team throughout the year just to see how they're doing and for a talking piece on this podcast. But it's just the only words I have is utter embarrassment. I keep saying it, but it really is. It really is. It's scaring me because this team is just they've quit. It's over. It is done, and it's tough to watch. So I rather just watch other games. But
I have one more thing to say about this team really quick.
Please.
Before we switch. Okay. McAdoo says, press conference talks about, willing to give, he might have to play as Davis Webb, instead of Eli Manning one of these games the rest of the way. Well, is it just, or does, the fact that we lost a game by freaking, what was it, 38 points, something like that? The time that you play him at the end of that game?
Yeah.
You're not going to have him come start for Eli, but if you want to see him get snaps, I get it. This was the perfect time to do it. You're losing the game by 30 at one point. Just put the guy in then. See if he can do something. You don't need to go up there and shake the boat to one guy that's been a constant that has not given up on this team. I given up. He doesn't give up. It's not his thing. And it just really pisses me off. I understand what he's saying. I would like to see what this guy's got too, because Eli might even be like a trade chip or something, or just the future. Because Eli's not going to be here forever. So I understand you want to see what he's got. See what he's got yesterday. That was the perfect time when you're down by 30 in a football game.
I brought in Geno Smith instead. He did. Didn't he come in the game?
I don't know.
I think for like one set of downs maybe, but they were down by 38 going into the fourth quarter. And he still had Eli out there.
Yeah.
Which, that's the time when you play this guy. That's the time.
Yep. You're right.
Right,
no, you're right. I'm glad you brought that up, dude, because let me just piggyback off that because of what I heard as well today. He wants to get him in the game, and he's saying this stuff to the media that maybe he's going to start him, which pisses me off, by the way, because, and I know I sound a little selfish in a way, but I want to see Eli keep that streak up. I don't care. At this point, the team freaking sucks. Let him keep going out there and playing and starting for this team. I mean, it's really amazing in football to have a streak like that. It really is. So that pisses me off first. Then I hear today he came back and said, no, we're not doing that. Eli's going to be the starting quarterback. Oh, my God, dude. This guy doesn't know what to think. He goes one way, then he goes the other way.
Well, maybe like you said with Jim, like the Jim Fossil thing, maybe he's not calling the shots anymore. Maybe it's kind of like, hey, you're gone at the end of the year. We're going to let you stay. Who knows? I doubt that that's happened already, but he's got to be feeling the pressure. So that's why he's going back and forth on anything he's saying. He just doesn't know how to act.
He doesn't. I don't like him in his press conferences either.
Oh, awful.
Seems like a freaking snide bastard.
He's a douche.
He really does. Snide bastard. I like that word, snide.
Snidely.
Yeah, freaking snidely. I don't like him, Rye. I don't like him. Just didn't work out. Get rid of him. Goodbye. I'm doing the hand motions too. Goodbye. Get him out. Both arms. Boom. Goodbye.
I'm with you. All right, Mike. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, what about them?
Well, they suck too, right?
Yeah, dude.
All right. Coming off a bye week with Brett Hundley, I expected him to be a little more in tune with the offense. I thought things would be a little better. They were not.
Well, I think a lot of my angst and a lot of my concern has nothing to do with Brett Hundley. Now, I know the offense obviously has its issues with Hundley. I thought Hundley played okay. He drops a dime to Devontae Adams, who just, for some reason, just sticks one hand out there when probably Could have caught the ball with an outstretched two. Probably even would have taken a dive, but he lazily goes after with one hand. We had a couple other drops. Hunley looked okay. But this defense, it's just they're just so bad. And I've been watching a bad defense for so long, and it hasn't mattered. Because Aaron Rodgers will guess as far as he can take us, and that's pretty fucking far. And the defense always lets us down. But when you're talking about bringing in a young quarterback, and here come all the bullshit cliches. Oh, we're gonna rally around Brett. Everyone's gonna step their game up. Everyone's fucking flushed their game down the fucking toilet. Where's Clay Matthews? Where's Nick Perry? Where's Mike Daniels? Oh, he's headbutting guys on third down instead of getting a 3-and-out. We're on the field in the first drive that leads to a touchdown. Where's anybody? Where's Dom Capers? Jim Bob Cooter was like playing Madden with Dom Capers last night. It was pathetic. Dom Capers would run the same 4 plays in a row and it worked 3 times. And guess what? You get burned on the 4th time, dipshit. Every single time. And listen, I've defended Dom Capers for a long time, as I defend coaches in general. You guys know that. I'm a players over plays kind of guy. But this has gone on for like 6 or 7 years now. We have enough talent. Why do we suck? Why? Kevin King played his balls off last night. So did Josh Jones. Those are 2 rookies. They're the only guys who really played well on defense. So a guy like Casey Hayward, why did he suck here? And then he goes and turns into a Pro Bowler with the Chargers. Why? Or Micah Hyde, who was a fine football player with us. A fine football player. But you ask a Bills fan right now, he's the greatest defensive football player the league has ever seen. Why? Dom Capers runs an incredibly elaborate scheme. Okay? He'll tell you that. And when you're a draft and develop team, like the Packers are, we stay young. We're always refreshing with new young talent coming in. How does that work? How do you run an overcomplicated system with young players? It doesn't make sense. Ted Thompson runs your organization like that, and it's fine. I have no problem with it. I don't like spending a lot of money in free agency. It rarely works. But you can't have Dr. Dom sitting up in the fucking press box with his Depends diapers on, running he's trying to play chess when we should be playing checkers. We should be keeping it a lot simpler on defense because I think we have the talent to do it. We don't have to out-scheme people. If you have shitty players, you have to out-scheme people. I think we have good players. I like our players at every level right now. So why do we suck? Why do we suck? I can't take it anymore. Capers has to go. I'm on board. I'm all in. He has to go. And the Packers will fucking never get rid of him. They'll never get rid of him. But I just can he retire? Guys, it's so frustrating. It's been the Packers' MO for years. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most incredible talents you'll ever see. And his defense just lets him down sooner or later. Sooner or later. Now, Capers 2010 and 2011 were outstanding. Outstanding defenses. And one of them led to the Super Bowl. But since then, guys, I don't want to bombard you with numbers, but I have a few because this is insane. Now, this is against good offenses, but against top 12 offenses, all right, from 2011 through 2016, okay, 6 years, an average of 30 points a game. 30 on average. 281 passing yards, 125 rushing yards a game. That's over 400 yards to top 12 scoring offenses. Now, that's not top 3 offenses. That's top 12. That's barely half. That's almost like almost half the league. So we're not talking juggernaut offenses. We're talking the best half offensive football teams. 30 points a game. It's unbelievable. We can't stop the pass. Now we can't stop the run. Can't do anything. I don't want to hear about injuries. I don't want to hear about lack of talent. Those are bullshit excuses now. Those don't fly anymore. He's got to go. He has to go. Please. One of you guys kill him or something. I'll pay you.
We can we can line up him and McAdoo if you want.
Sure. Have them fight to the death, and then we'll kill the one who wins. You know.
What do you think? I don't know. I watched a decent amount of that game yesterday. And while it's not fair, because I think a lot of people are trying to, I don't want to say they want to compare him to Aaron Rodgers because you can't, but I don't know. I feel like he's just not that good. I don't know. I watched a lot of him yesterday. I don't think he's that good.
Listen,
and that's not his fault right now. I mean, that's just who he is.
He might not be that good, but I saw a lot. I saw plenty of good things. Enough good things, I don't know, but I saw plenty. Now listen, he's a little careless. He's been careless with the ball since college. The field goal at the end of the first half, how he throws the ball over the middle, short of the end zone with like 12 seconds left with no timeouts, and then we're running a Chinese fire drill to try to kick a field goal and miraculously do.
Right.
He's learning, and will he ever get a chance to be a starter full-time in the league? Gun to my head, no. But again, this is not about him or the offense. This is about not forcing the Lions to punt once.
Yeah.
They didn't punt once. And this isn't an aberration. This isn't a fucking stain on your underpants, like a one-time thing. This is the same shit since 2011, 2012.
That's a big load of crap sitting right in that underpants.
No one cleans it up. It just sits there and stinks.
Like chili shorts.
Chili shorts. Overflowing chili shorts for years. And guess what? Aaron Rodgers bails them out.
Yeah.
To a point.
No, you're right.
But they always let him down. The Arizona playoff game, both Arizona playoff games. But the last one, Christ, we complete 2 Hail Marys with our 5th string wide receiver to force overtime, and on the first play, they give up an 80-yard play. Game over. Yeah. I could sit here and give you a million examples, but and I could spew numbers at you until I'm blue in the face. But Capers, you know what? He has to go. He has to go. It's not working. And we have talent. And we have nice young players. We have nice pieces. I like the whole defense. I like King, Burnett, Clinton Dix, Blake Martinez, Jake Ryan, Mike Daniels, Kenny Clark. I like Dean Lowry. Christ, all these guys. The rookie Montravis Adams gets in the game. He looked pretty good at defensive line. You still have Nick Perry. I mean, these guys should be able to be a good defense. So someone tell me what's wrong. I don't know. But Capers, enough. Capers has to go. It's time.
And it's funny, Mike, like you said, you usually never really get on the coaches. It's usually it's usually the players out
Right.
there.
Right.
But you've had enough.
And honestly, right, last night was really, it was the drop of the hat. I mean, it was the straw. It really was, because I'm watching the game, and every time they showed Jim Bob Cooter over there, he was like laughing because it was like it was child's play. Child's play.
Yeah, and you're right, because I mean, the defense not getting off the field really set the offense up for failure. And you could see it too. They weren't able to run the ball yesterday with Aaron Jones. It looked so good the last couple games too.
Yeah, no, I mean Montgomery looked okay. They actually kind of split carries.
Yeah, they did. I saw they brought Montgomery in.
You know, the offense didn't look horrible. They really didn't. Finally had the offensive line back intact. Now we learned that Brian Bulaga is out for the year and probably more. He tore his ACL last night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, it was confirmed today. He's out for the rest of the year. But you know, all that being said, this is all about the defense. This is all about Dom Capers just got pussy whipped last night. I mean, he brings in all out blitz on a first down, and it forces an incompletion. He runs it again on second down, and what do the Lions dial up? A screen pass that went for like 70 yards and pretty much sealed the game. It was like child's play on the touchdown pitch to I forget if it was Abdul or Riddick. You know, another jailbreak blitz, and they just pitch it out wide because we're just blitzing everyone up the middle. And even Gruden said it. It's like Jim Bob Cooter knew what Dom Capers was going to call. Of course he knew what he was going to call. Everybody knows what he's going to call. He's a fucking schmuck. It was so bad. It was so bad. And every time they showed Cooter over there, every time they showed him, he was laughing. Because he's never had so much fun calling plays in his life. Because it was so easy. He was in Capers' fucking pocket. I've never seen a coordinator get so outcoached. And you know what? That's the last I want. That's the last I want to see him. That's it. At home, off a bye.
All right. Well, what's your feelings? Can this team make a little bit of a run and make the playoffs? Can they do it?
No. Okay. No. I'd be shocked. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Where's it going to come from? You know what I mean?
You know, and if you lose the next couple games too, what's the point in bringing Aaron Rodgers back?
Oh, right. Yeah. They better not.
Exactly.
They better not.
It would be stupid. Oh, boys. So our seasons are not working out well. Not working out well. And like we've said, football's been very strange this year. Damn Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the whole National Football League right now, according to their record. And they do look good. I'm not going to sit here and say they're getting lucky because they look good. Carson Wentz, I think, is the MVP right now. I don't know who else would be. I hate to say it again. I think New Orleans looks good, guys. I do. I mean, they put a trouncing on Tampa Bay, who's another team in shambles.
And how about the Saints looking good with a ground game and a defense?
Unreal, right?
Who would have thought?
I know another touchdown for their D.
Another touchdown for their D, and they have an X factor in Alvin Kamara.
Oh,
what an X factor!
I like him.
Very good. I like him a lot. He's
excellent. Having him and Ingram too. What a good 1-2 punch.
Yep.
It all started, and it's weird to say it. I said it when it happened. I know Peterson has been really good in Arizona now, but going until he was gone.
Yeah.
And it's just looking over your shoulder. They didn't need to do it anymore. All right, you're my two guys. You're both going to get the ball.
It worked for both parties.
Oh, yeah, it did. It really has.
It worked for both parties. And again, guys, I mean, this Atlanta team's not good. They just don't have it. And Mike, you're probably right, man. They just got so devastated from that Super Bowl. It's a very long hangover.
It is, and it's weird saying this because this guy's out in San Francisco getting his fucking shit pushed in, but they miss Kyle Shanahan.
Hell yes, they do.
I mean, think about the weapons they have. I mean, the only guy who looks decent on a week in and week out basis is Mohamed Sanu, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Freeman's been a little banged up, but that two-headed monster in the backfield hasn't really gotten going. Julio Jones is not Julio Jones. Matt Ryan, I always thought Matt Ryan was a tad overrated to begin with. You guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
But, to go from an MVP caliber season or MVP season to this,
yeah.
Taylor Gabriel has literally done nothing. Nothing. I mean, what a fun weapon to have if you're designing plays, and he has done nothing. So
you mentioned,
is Sarkisian drunk again? Like, what's going on? Is he drinking again? I don't know.
Oh, he definitely is drinking.
He's not. I mean, he takes he takes a lot of blame here because he's like the only thing that's changed.
Right. What were you saying, Ryan?
And I feel like every time he does get going, they don't hand him the ball. They let Matt Ryan run. They call a stupid play, a stupid pass play or something, and they're not giving the ball to Freeman. And I feel like this guy just needs more touches.
Yeah,
maybe it is. And how about the drop by Julio Jones in the end zone?
Oh, first Ryan with the overthrow.
Yeah,
and that drop,
and then the drop was bad.
You can't. It's just not. You just know it's not their year.
Nope.
The best receivers on the planet drops that.
Yeah, it's just
on fourth down. On fourth down, what a huge play that was.
That was right in his breadbasket too.
Oh, man, terrible.
Right in his breadbasket, but yeah, the team is they just don't have it, man. A lot of good teams from a year ago. Just what a fall from grace, or teams that started out good this year, or teams that were expected to do well, like Denver. Holy cow. They're another team that just got absolutely demoralized the other day. And they are always predicated on that defense. And dude, I'm dropping them in both of my fantasy leagues because they suck.
Do you think it's kind of the Giant syndrome where these are still two good defenses, should be at least, but maybe they get to the point where they say, you know what, if our offense is going to be this fucking bad, then what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, and I think Denver's offense is worse.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. I agree.
10 times worse.
And how about Vance Joseph saying Brock Osweiler has earned another start?
It's like McAdoo saying the Giants, work their butts off.
Played hard, right? He's earned another start.
Oh.
Vance, I know you're in Denver, but dude,
fancy pants.
I don't know if it's the altitude or the weed, but screw your head on straight, dude. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's pathetic, man. Their offense is definitely worse. Ryan, I never mentioned this before. I was thinking about this before, but this is a lone bright spot for this Giants team. It's the play of Evan Ingram.
Oh, yes, it is.
He's going to be good.
I think he is as well. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing. This guy could be. I mean, he's fast. He's a tight end, but he's really a wide receiver. Teams don't know really what to do for him out there. And even when he's the only viable in the passing game, I know Shepard's back now, but before that, he was still making plays and still making catches.
Yeah. I think they're gonna roll with him the rest of the year. He's gonna put up some really good numbers. I think that was I'll give it to Reese there. I think that was a really solid pick at that position in the draft. Just another playmaker that they needed. So I just wanted to touch on that. I forgot to mention that before. But some of these teams are they're just falling. Like, how about Kansas City? My boys from KC.
Mm.
They've been struggling a little bit, and Kareem Hunt finally had a bad game, and I thought he was going to have a really good game against Dallas, but he was a non-factor in that game, and they lose another one. So I mean, is somebody going to step up and tell us they're the ones that are going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, it's tough to pick, man. If we had to pick now too, we'd probably get it all wrong.
Oh, if I had to bet on it, I couldn't. Like I would shoot for a team with the best odds, like someone like the Saints that no one's gonna think is gonna win. I don't think they're gonna win either, but that's where I'd put my money because I have no idea. I feel like anybody could win.
No idea.
Team is good, and no team is bad, except for the Giants. But
No, there's plenty of bad teams.
Yeah, there's a couple.
We have two winless teams, so
That's true, but no one's good.
No one is standing out. I mean, I guess you can say the Philadelphia Eagles. We're always going to put them to the side because we don't want them to be good, but they are showing. I mean, they are 8-1. You can't be 8-1 and win a bunch of fluke games. It just doesn't happen that way, especially a weird year this year.
All right, we're going to play a little game real quick. I'm going to give you guys teams that are, either division leaders or close, and you tell me if you can realistically visualize this team this year. Okay, 6-2 Saints. Can they get through the NFC?
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Wait, as long I'm just going to say as long as they can secure some home field.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they have a better shot.
I agree. I would imagine the NFC Championship game probably wouldn't be at home, but you never know. We still have half the season left.
Yeah, you still got a lot of season. Go ahead. Sorry.
Panthers.
No. I like the deep. They're actually the number one defense now, but I don't know.
Do we even throw the Falcons in? Or
No.
Are we writing them off?
They're out.
All right. 6-2 Vikings.
Can I see them in the Super Bowl? No.
Yeah, me neither. And that's not just Lions or Packers. I can't.
Packers, I don't think so. I just because of the non-Aaron Rodgers factor. And the Lions, they don't win the big one, so I'm saying no.
6-2 Rams.
Yes. As silly as it sounds, yes. Because I think their offense is pretty damn good to go along with a sneaky good defense. I think they can be in a weak NFC. Why not?
And I think they're built for playoff football. They can run the ball.
Right.
Seahawks 5-3.
Yes. The only reason is the experience.
Right. Of course they can. They probably will. All right. Eagles, I think we should say yes. They're odds on favorite. Cowboys 5-3.
No. I don't think they're that good all around. And I think they're going to lose Zeke in a bad time and at a bad time.
Yeah, who knows what the hell's going to happen with that.
Right. So I'm going to go with no because of that.
All right. We'll go to the AFC real quick. And before we start, I know I kind of jumped ship on my crazy pick, but don't look now. But the Miami Dolphins, they're one game out of a playoff spot right now. I just want to tell you guys that. They're 4-4. And right now, if the season ended today, they'd miss the playoffs by a game. So don't sleep on my Miami Dolphins. Okay. Patriots, of course.
Mm-hmm.
How about the Bills at 5-3? What do you think of the Bills?
Can I see them in the Super Bowl? No.
I mean, they have to make the playoffs first. They haven't made the playoffs in
right.
like
That's
years.
That was what I was going to say.
That hasn't been long. 2000 something. 99. Chiefs 6-3. Still like them?
I still like them to a point. I gotta see some better football though. Hopefully they're going through a little lull.
How about the Raiders? They're 4-5 right now.
Can I
Can
see
they-
him in the Super
Can
Bowl?
they
That's the
turn it
question.
around? Can they turn it around, get into the playoffs, and make a run?
That's
The
such a
point. The point to this whole thing is that none of these teams sound good. None of them sound bad.
Right.
And in 4 weeks, this could totally change. It's
right.
ridiculous.
That's the beauty of this.
Listen, fast forward. Patriots are winning the fucking Super Bowl. Let's be honest.
No, stop it. Stop it.
Come on.
Stop it. Oakland. I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Right, you got this one. This one's tough for me. Can I see him in a Super Bowl?
I say no.
I would say no too. I think.
Yeah, and like Stanley was saying, that's the point. I mean,
Yeah,
Steelers are 6-2. Of course, they can make a run.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, a wide open year as we can remember in quite a while. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Who did we miss? We miss anybody else?
I mean, that's about it. I mean, the Ravens are 4-5.
AFC South.
Yeah, the Titans or Jaguars.
Titans, I don't think so anymore. I'm done with that.
5-3, and everyone else is 500 or worse.
Yeah.
No.
It's a strange year, guys. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
How this
Miami
all plays out.
Dolphins in the playoffs.
Well, listen, I had my Chiefs and my Rams on each side. So far, it's looking good for playoff spots.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And my Rams were my sneaky pick there.
It's a good sneaky pick.
It is. Sneaking it in. Speaking of picks, guys, holy shit. I went a little bold and picked two big spread games. One paid off, one didn't. So I went 1 and 2. I got the New Orleans. They were at -6.5, and they just trounced, like I said, Tampa Bay. I lost the Seattle game. Seattle at home, I thought that was a freaking given. But Washington's defense played really well. They really did. And I went with KC +1 over Dallas, and it didn't pan out. Dallas was the better team the other day. 1 and 2, boys.
Let's see. I was 2-0 in the weekend. But my Packers, of course, let me down. But Philly blew out Denver. I was kind of banking on that. And the Colts, getting 7 points against that Houston team seemed like a good pick, and it was. And then the Packers played like shit. So 2-1. 2-1 for me.
Does anybody really want me to go, or should I just bypass this?
No, go ahead.
Because
go ahead. Say it.
Because this is the 1 week that I haven't hurt myself. I went 1, 1, and 1.
Wow.
1, 1, and 1.
Thanks to the Oakland Raiders, pushing.
Push. Yeah, Dave took Oakland, so he gets the push. He took Carolina +1. He got that. And then he had Arizona at -2.5.
He didn't lose.
Dave went undefeated this week at 2-0-1.
There you go, David.
He was not defeated.
One of these weeks, boys, we need to all be over 500 or more. We need to.
I don't know if that's possible.
It's possible. Let's do it.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. As in terms of our FanDuel value plays, I think the only one that for me to speak of was Adrian Peterson was pretty damn solid. He had a very good game. Does anybody know how the Colts defense did in FanDuel? Because they didn't do too bad. I don't know if they got many turnovers though, if any.
I'm
I don't
trying
think they did.
But I guess at 4,000, it was probably a good value anyway.
Well, okay, here you go. You ready?
Please.
They had 2 sacks, no turnovers. So 2 sacks, and they let up 14 points. So They did.
So
They were serviceable. I would say they did okay for the price. I would say they did okay.
okay, that was kind of my flyby, and
Oh, and a and two forced fumbles actually.
okay, so that's a couple turn. That's a well.
So one turnover, I guess, and two.
Okay, so pretty good for 4,000. That's value right there. You save some money on your defense, and you could load up at another position.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's how I did. All my other ones were pretty duty, like the Giants defense.
Yeah, guess how many points they had in FanDuel?
Probably -4.
Exactly.
I know I took them in DraftKings for one, and they had -4. So
I don't know if I mentioned Darkwa on the pod, but it was something I was thinking about, and he did okay. He's 16 carries for 71 yards. You know,
he ran the ball well.
Just
It was mostly in the beginning of the game too.
yeah, because we were down so much later, they didn't want to do it anymore.
Exactly. Anybody else have any good FanDuel values that worked out?
No.
I said Cam and Jared Goff.
Well, Goff had a great game.
Yeah.
I'm not, and Cam was okay.
It was good.
You know, I guess Goff better. They were the same price. I said
Good,
Christian
not great.
McCaffrey. Finally kind of do something, and he finally did.
He ran the ball a little bit.
Yeah, 18 points. At 6,100. I said Doug Martin. That was a big turd. Now my receivers, I'm not sure. I gave two super values. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Cooper Kupp did.
He got 3 catches, 54 yards.
So
after all that offense,
5.46. What is that? 7.6.9. So that's not great. I said Marquise Goodwin at 4,800 on San Francisco. He had 2 catches for 68 yards. So 7.8 points. I guess pretty good for $4,800.
That's decent value.
I had him in one of my leagues.
Yeah, against me, you had to play him.
Oh, that's right.
With McCaffrey as well. McCaffrey is pretty much the only guy who did anything for you. Bless your heart.
That's true.
That was about it. Good and bad as usual.
Good and bad as usual. Exactly. Well, you know, we'll do our picks on the next pod. Rye, what's going on in the basketball world?
Hoops.
Well, a lot of stuff today. Big, semi big trade today because the NBA season
really
never sleeps. Yeah, the season never sleeps. So Eric Bledsoe, demanded a trade or tweeted when he was at a hair salon that he wanted out, but apparently it was about
at a hair
Suns. Who knows what you want to believe? But anyway, the Suns finally unloaded Bledsoe. Milwaukee Bucks, and I have to say, I just like, if this works, that's great. If it doesn't, whatever. But I like that the Bucks are trying something. They have a top 3, 5 player in the league, and Giannis, the Greek freak. I challenge you to say his last name. And
Antetokounmpo.
There you go, Michael Hall. That's what we have you.
You got it.
Because he is unbelievable. He leads the league in scoring. He needs a little bit of help. Middleton's been good on that team. Brogdon has been okay, who was the rookie of the year last year. Trey Parker, but they're really getting nothing from the other guard spot. Tony Snell's okay, but the fact that Bledsoe can plug into this lineup, and the big question is going to be, can Bledsoe and Brogdon play on the floor together? And I think they definitely can. As long as Bledsoe's okay being, he should be okay being second fiddle. It's not like he's a superstar, but this guy did average 20 points a game, not this year, but the last 2 years coming into this year. So he's a proven scorer. He's going to be 28 in December. He's still pretty young. He's got some years. They only gave up Greg Monroe, who's been coming off the bench for them, serviceable bench guy, always kills the Celtics somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave up a 2018 and 2018 first round pick and a 2018 second round pick, protected picks. So nothing crazy. So I think the gamble is worth it here for the Bucks. So that was today. Um, my advice to guys out of Phoenix, so he's not upset about it. But don't make weird tweets at a hair salon, okay? That will get you benched. You know what I mean? So I also have to bring up your hometown. Our hometown, New York Knicks. I hate them,
baby.
but they're looking very, very good at 5-4. They're actually making the game right now. They were just down pretty good to the Hornets, and then they just cut it to 2. So they're playing well tonight. They're sitting at 5-4, and let me tell you, did Knicks fans miss Carmelo Anthony or what?
Nope.
No.
No. Not one Knicks fan should. And if any Knicks fan said yes, they are just delusional. Cut it to 1. If he hits the second free throw, it will be tied.
He will.
But Carmelo Anthony, just getting him off the team makes them better. But one of the guys they got for him is Enes Kanter, who is at 13.6 points and 11.3 rebounds per game so far this year, playing great.
Double machine.
Yeah, he's a machine. Double machine. The real stud, though, boys, is Kristaps Porzingis. I mentioned Giannis, the Greek freak, as a top 3, top 5 player. I can throw Porzingis in there, top 5, top 10. He is there. He has arrived. He is averaging 30 points a game, second in the NBA, third in the NBA in blocks with over 2 per game, almost 8 rebounds per game. His percentages are good, 82 from the line, 36 from 3, which I think will improve, actually, and a 50% field goal percentage. The Knicks just took the lead on a Porzingis 3-ball, just so you know. So
he's the unicorn.
He is the unicorn. These two guys are him. It's Giannis and him. They're the unicorns. There's nobody else like them.
And let's not forget the other guy we got in the Carmelo Anthony trade, Dougie McBuckets.
Yeah, he's got 20 tonight. He's having a
Dougie McBuckets.
Well,
that's his name.
He's making his buckets tonight. So, but like this year, Porzingis is shooting 22 shots a game. If Carmelo's on that team, he's not anywhere near that.
No.
Because
maybe 15 is the ceiling.
Well, yeah, last year he was at 14.9. So you're right. 15 would have been the ceiling. 7 more shots is huge. I mean, it's a big deal. This is his team now. This is his team. And you know what? I mentioned, hey, maybe you get Bledsoe. Maybe it's interesting, but maybe it's better off they didn't get Bledsoe. You just let this team run through Porzingis now and assess it after the season. The Knicks have their draft pick this year. I think they finally smartened up with trading their draft picks every year. Real deal. Knicks are 5-4. Have a chance to go to 6-4 after tonight against a pretty decent Hornets team. But I have to bring up my Celtics, who are now started the year 0-2, but have now won 9 in a row.
Whoa.
9 in a row. And in that streak, only 3 of those teams are under 500, so they're beating some, decent teams, no superstar teams, but decent teams. And it's because of a lot of players. Al Horford is the only player in the NBA to be in the plus in every game, in the plus minus. NBA this year, for every game he's in the plus. Wow. That's amazing. Being 11 games in, that's a crazy stat to me. The play of these young guys, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I love it. I love them. It's like one night one guy puts the team, partially puts the team on his back. The next night it's the other guy. So one night it's Brown, the next night it's Tatum. These guys are averaging like 15 points and 6 rebounds a game. And mind you, they're both like even. It's crazy. And some of my stuff that I was concerned about getting Kyrie Irving, he hasn't even played to that next level yet, and we've known 9 in a row. But he is playing great. I was worried that he'd have this Russell Westbrook mentality, LeBron. He has not had that. He has not been Russell Westbrook. He is dishing. He is shooting the same. He's actually shooting less shots per game this year on the Celtics than he did with LeBron last year. He shot more shots a game last year. So I love his distribution. I love the way he's playing, and all of a sudden he can play defense. Where it's coming from, but it's amazing. And we wrote off the Celtics after the Hayward injury. And I know it's early, but it gets me going a little here, and I hold out some hope that we maybe can reach the NBA Finals. Only 2 teams in the Eastern Conference that have a worse record than the Cleveland Cavaliers.
They suck.
Unbelievable.
I know. I mean, they win tonight against the Bucks, but I mean, it is unbelievable.
LeBron can't
defense.
win. LeBron can't win without Kyrie, man. Can't.
I love that that's the narrative all of a sudden. I love it.
Kyrie was running the show.
Right? When Isaiah comes back, I mean, obviously things will be different if he ever does get back, but I keep hearing that he'll be back sooner rather than later. So when he does get back, I expect them to be very good. Obviously, they're still the front runners, even though they're 4-6. But hey, Celtics, man, playing great. I love it. Great basketball.
Nice, man. Good for you. You're happy. What's their record right now?
9-2.
9-2. Beautiful. So now good. A lot of young talent there. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, best record in the NBA.
Good for them, man. Hey, Mike, the Rangers.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
How about them Rangers?
They won 4 in a row. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. So they're playing a lot better. And go ahead. I know where you were going with that.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Just when we thought we were literally maybe 20 minutes away from seeing Vigneault packed up, shoved in a trunk, and driven out of town. We were losing 4-2 to Vegas.
Yep.
Come back and win, and all of a sudden we just can do no wrong. You know what? So you know what? I'll leave it at that. If that's what it took to get them to play good hockey, whatever. I don't like the way Vigneault runs things most of the time, but wins are wins. Not going to complain about them. Before we came on air, you were talking about the job Shattenkirk and Zibanejad. The jobs they're doing right now. Just huge offensive output from both guys. So, hey, listen, I still think we're a pretty deep team. We still have pretty good secondary scoring. Kreider's been very noticeable. Hayes has been pretty good. Grabner has 5 or 6 goals. So you know what? Listen, I still think we're a pretty good hockey team. So we're finally getting some confidence back, as we should. And you know what? We'll see. I feel like we finally got our feet underneath us, got our skates underneath us now. Dug a bit of a hole, but this is the hockey we expected to see. So now I can turn Ranger games back on, and not turn beet red every time they show Vigneault chomping on his gum behind the bench because he has no idea what he's doing. I could stop doing that and enjoy some hockey finally.
Yeah, you can. They're back to 500. And yeah, they dug themselves a little hole, but it wasn't that deep. And thankfully it happened in the beginning of the season. Like you said, maybe they got, maybe they got their feet under them now. They can start rolling. They won 4 in a row. Good inspired hockey. I watched very bits and pieces the last couple of games, just flipping back and forth. And like you said, man, this Zibanejad, he has become a force offensively right now. And you know what he's doing, Mike? You know what he's doing? He's winning faceoffs in the offensive zone, leading to chances.
Who would have thought?
So, yeah, and you know how important that is. And it's something we haven't had in a while. and he hasn't been healthy with us since we've gotten him. So fingers crossed him staying healthy because he looks like an MVP right now. I know that sounds silly, but the guy's got 8 goals and 9 assists right now in 16 games. He's playing very good, and he's bringing his team along with Shattenkirk out from under the rug to be a force of a team. So we're back to 500. I think we are back to being a playoff team. They just got to keep it consistent. And, Lundqvist, he can get on a roll. I know he's getting older, and maybe he's not the player he used to be, but he's somebody who keeps himself in such good shape, and he's got a good mindset. He plays fiscal hockey.
Oh, fiscal.
A lot of fiscal hockey. And I still have confidence in him, is what I'm saying. I think he can get on a roll and get a couple of shutouts here and there and really save this team when the offense isn't there right now. So I'm happy right now that they've won a few games. And like you said, now we can turn it on and not get all pissed off watching Gum Chewer.
Gum Chomper.
Gumption.
Now we got a test, Boston tomorrow.
Right.
Then Edmonton comes in on Saturday.
Oh,
we go to Chicago next Wednesday, and then to Columbus, who we just beat last night. We go to their barn next Friday. So a little tough 4-game stretch. So we'll see where we're at. But much better hockey, Ranger hockey.
Much, much better Ranger hockey. I'm happy for it. I want to mention to you guys, I don't know if you heard this today. Brian Cashman is not ruling out ARod as the new Yankees manager. What do you hear? What do you think about that?
Well, all right. You know what? I almost forgot to talk about this. I mentioned it at the end of our last pod, and I'll try to keep this brief.
Go ahead, bud.
I like to trust Brian Cashman. Obviously, how he shaped the roster and the farm system has been second to none in the league the past 18 months, 2 years. So I try to just, in Cashman we trust, so to speak. So when he decides that Joe Girardi is not the man to lead this young team moving forward, I don't agree with it, but fine. Whatever.
Hey,
Whatever.
Before you keep going, do you know what he said, Cashman, about Joe Girardi and his players?
So he doesn't really connect with them.
I don't
on a personal level.
I don't see that. I don't know.
Yeah, Girardi says he doesn't see it that way at all. I guess you'd have to ask every single player.
Yeah, I get. We're not there.
But so when Cashman says all this and he makes this decision, and I said it. I said, you know what? He better have a plan, and I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's got a guy in his pocket right now on speed dial, ready to go. And then I hear that Brian Cashman is interviewing about 25 guys for this job. 25.
Jeez.
What the fierce fuck? That's not a plan. What the hell are we doing? 25 fucking guys? And guys like Jerry Hairston Jr.? Dude.
Oh.
Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Really, dude. Really. So you know what? Throw ARod's hat in the ring. Who the fuck cares? This 25 fucking guys. But Joe Girardi's not the man for the job. Well, who is Brian? I don't know. Anyone else? Come on, man. What are we doing? So I don't even know who I'd want.
Yeah.
I thought Tony Payne was going to be a really strong candidate. Apparently he's not.
Nope, I heard he's not.
I could see him managing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see him managing. If we can somehow rip Mattingly away from Miami, it looks like Jeter's alienating everyone in South Florida anyway, so maybe there's a possibility. I've heard Al Padrique, who's been our AAA manager for a few years. Robbie Thompson, who just, it just looks like he's on sodium pentothal all the time, just like in a coma. I don't know if he's the right guy for the job. And then Jerry Hairston Jr. Come on.
That's the sexy pick, Mike. Come on.
I'll jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. Guys, I don't know where this is going to go, but I did say this. I said it really doesn't matter the way this team is set up for the next, better part of a decade, I hope. As long as you don't bring in a guy to just completely royally fuck it up. But when you tell me that you're not bringing Joe Girardi back, just took you to Game 7 of the ALCS.
Yeah.
Because he's not the right man for the job. And your plan B is interviewing 25 different guys. That just, it's like, alarms go off in my head. Like, what the hell is really going on here? So I guess this is going to take 6 months to get through 25 guys. So we may start the season without a manager. So I guess we'll see what the hell is going to happen.
So you don't even see like a clear cut favorite, right? They haven't even said anything.
No, I guess we have to do it in waves. Like
Jesus Christ.
Like a real
ARod.
job in the world. We got to do rounds of interviews from 25 guys.
By the way, ARod is pretty damn good on the Fox broadcast.
I think ARod would be an awesome manager.
Probably would.
I'm not kidding. Why not? Listen, we all know. ARod. We all know all about ARod, but one thing you have to say about the guy eats, breathes, and lives 24/7 baseball. He loves it.
I agree.
He loves it, and he likes working with the young kids. Now, in-game stuff, who knows? But a first-time manager, you're never going to know. I think you'd be an awesome manager. Why not? Better than Jerry Hairston Jr.
I agree, actually. Listen, when he started on the Fox broadcasting, I hated it because I couldn't get over the fact that this guy cheated the game and they were just so quick to bring him in there. I hated that. Take that stuff away. He's very good. If I could take away my prior judgments, he's just very good out there. And like you said, I could see it translating well to the bench.
That would be interesting, dude. That would be something else, huh? What a turn of events that would be. That would be crazy.
Can you imagine ARod like arguing with umpires, kicking dirt on them and stuff?
Actually, no.
Me neither. Me neither.
It's purple lips. It's interesting, dude. I wanted to get your take on that because I heard that today that Cashman said not to rule that out. I'm wondering if ARod had reached out. I don't know. Kind of interesting. I would see him wanting to get into managing. Why not?
Yeah, I could see it.
Why the hell not? So, I mean, it's going to be, like you said, probably a long process. We're going to have to wait. But whatever happens, it was just such weird timing to get rid of a manager after a season like that. It's just really weird. Really, really weird, where a team is just so young and primed for many decent to good years ahead, it's just really weird timing. But on the other hand, we'll see what happens. I mean, Cashman's done a great job, so maybe he's got some tricks up his sleeves. Who the hell knows? But we'll have to wait and see. So we got some good sports coming on this weekend, obviously. Some Raya, I'm sure there's some good basketball. Who the Celtics play this weekend? Anything good?
On national TV tomorrow night, so tune in.
Cool.
Yeah. By the way, the Knicks just won.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're now 6-4.
Damn.
And Kristaps Porzingis just broke the Knicks franchise record for most points in the first 10 games of a season.
Wow.
With 300.
Oof. Hey, it's nice to see New York basketball a little bit relevant right now. It is. It's
Hey,
nice. I
they
know
were
you don't
down
like them.
11. They
Yeah.
were down 11 going into the fourth quarter tonight, and then won by 5.
Very nice. Very nice. Any final thoughts, boys? Anything good? Anything juicy?
Cashman needs to fucking find a manager, and Dom Capers needs to be fired.
That's Mike's last words. I love it.
Those 2 things would cheer me the fuck up.
Stand a man.
No, man. Nothing really. I just hope the Celtics, they've won 9 in a row. I really wanted to make it 10 because we face the Lakers, and I would hate to lose that damn game tomorrow. So let's go Celtics.
Yeah. And for me, nothing really, man. I wish I was more excited for the weekend of football for the Giants, but it's just it's a bleak season, and it's probably going to be one of those games this weekend where nobody's going to want to watch. It's the Giants 49ers. Oh, if I'm looking at that game as an outsider, I'm saying never turning that on. So we'll see what happens there. But hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. Once again, rest in peace, Roy Halladay. Just awful news today that we got. But make sure you guys check us out on iTunes. Subscribe. Give us a comment. We like those. We like some feedback on how we're doing here. SoundCloud, YouTube, the usuals. Check us out. View our channel. Just give us some feedback because we don't get much of that if you're listening. We want to hear from you guys. You can also tweet us at The Angry Hacks. Retweet us. Sometimes we put some things up there. And give us a comment here and there. We don't bite. We love the comments. And we should be back very soon within a couple days for our next podcast. We'll give you our weekly picks, some FanDuel value plays. And we're just here to talk some sports. So for Stan the Man, Michael Hall, this is Nunzi. We're signing out. Have a good weekend.